Previously on Funny Science Fiction.
I think it's only prudent. I mean, I would rather have a self-destruct button and not need it than need one and not have it, right? You can't make an innather without a self-destruct button. How would it even function? Everything's wired through the self-destruct button.
Hello and welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Yeah!
Where Professor X read our minds and had a mental breakdown. So our guest today is Larry Hankin. Now you, like me, may go, Larry Hankin, I know that name. And then as soon as you saw him, you went, oh, he's that guy. That's right. We're talking to that guy, Larry Hankin, one of the premier character actors in Hollywood. You know who he is as soon as you see his face. But the problem is that Larry has been in so many movies and TV shows, he's kind of hard to keep track of. But fortunately, we have IMDb to help us, because if it wasn't for IMDb, I don't have enough fingers and toes.
Know who I am.
I wouldn't have enough fingers and toes, Larry, to count who you are. But you've got over 190 acting credits on your resume. That's a busy career, sir.
And you'll
I guess I didn't know that until I started doing podcasts. I never paid attention to that. I just try to get my next job, man.
There you go,
Right.
paycheck.
Yeah,
It's a rat race out there. You
exactly.
can look back and you're eating. Just keep going.
You did something right.
You will recognize Larry from his roles such as Billy Madison, Escape from Alcatraz, Friends, Seinfeld, Breaking Bad, and even Star Trek. Thanks for
The
being
one
here.
behind you, that's the one.
This guy.
That's the one you should recognize me for. I love that one. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me.
No,
Yeah,
you're fine.
thanks for being here, Larry. We truly appreciate you taking the time to be here with us.
So, Larry, I think the roles that I knew you best for were your roles in Escape from Alcatraz and Billy Madison, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Your roles all over the years have been kind of all over the map. And in my opinion, you're not an actor that's been typecast. You have roles in different personalities, different types, all these different scenarios. So my question for you is, right out the gate, the first question for you is, as a character actor who plays all these different characters, all these different roles, how do you get yourself ready for these roles? Do you have a set method of preparation, or do you adjust it depending on the requirement of the role?
What's preparation?
Study the character, learn.
No, I come from, see, I'm not an actor. I mean, let's get this straight right in front, because just even people don't even know my name. I'm not an actor. I'm a stand-up social anthropologist. That's what I am. That's what I call myself. Other people call it stand-up comedy. But I started out as a stand-up comedian, and I was extremely successful. I mean, I was opening for Miles Davis and the Kingston Trio. I did the Playboy Clubs. I opened for rock groups, the Blues Project, Love and Spoonful, Ian and Sylvia. Okay, so that's who I am. That's what I do best. I'm a funny guy. I'm that guy, that guy. But I can also act in small roles if you don't push me and it's not too hard. So, and I'm dyslexic, so I can't remember lines very well. So you have to give me the script long before other people so I can learn my lines. And I've always learned my lines, but I need that time. Very important because of this dyslexia. So, and then my introduction to acting was through Second City, and then we started the committee. We started the committee. So improvisation. So that's how I approach anything. That's how I approach my life. Hello, bing, go, and I seem to be able to do that. I think it's because of the dyslexia, frankly, because it's more heavily to the artistic side than the reality side, I guess. I don't know what the other side is, but so I tend to be creative more than normal. And so the freedom that dyslexia gives me is the improvisational part. So that's how I approach my roles. I read it a couple of times, you know, and I see what comes, what hit I get from the page, and that's what I go with. And then I go in and I audition with that, and they either like me or they don't. They either buy it or they don't. And then sometimes doing an audition, they'll say, well, okay, now try it this way. And no, I mean, I'll try it that way, but it looks like I'm trying it that way.
Right.
It's not acting.
It's not you.
You know, it's look, either I come up with it and you buy it, or thank you very much.
Or you
Goodbye.
don't.
or I don't. And it seems to work out because, you know, thank goodness for my dyslexia, it seems to work, you know, and I depend on the moment. I really depend on it, because if I study too hard, then it comes out what we call in acting indicating. You
Right.
You know,
Okay.
and that's a no-no. So I just wing. I guess that's the word for it. It's acting word. Winging
Right.
it.
I'm winging it. All right. So yeah, because now that makes me think, because you had mentioned your dyslexia. Now you'd mentioned in another interview that I had watched of you, where you're talking about acting as Mr. Heckles, and being called back for the 5th time where they killed you, but you said each time that you were Mr. Heckles was written by a different writer. So did you wing it 5 times, or did you stay true to who you were in the first one? And kind of,
Well, if you'll know, okay, to answer your question directly, the reason that they hire writers for shows like that, but that was a big time show, and those producers were big time producers. Well, not big time producers, but they had their chops. You know, they had gotten their bones already by the time they got to writing Friends. So they. Okay, to ask me the question again, what was the point of your question?
well, see, you know, when you had mentioned that you had, you know, with dyslexia, that you kind of
Oh,
fly
the
by
5
seat.
different writers.
The 5 different writers.
Well. So my point about them, the producers, they hire writers who can keep track of a character, or else you wouldn't be working there. So it wasn't up to me, and it wasn't up to them. The writers know. However, interesting fact that I found out later about Mr. Heckles and the writer, because when I was killed on the show that I was killed, I think, if I can remember correctly, in the show that I was killed, I was alive in the beginning of the show, and then they said, oh, he had a heart attack. So then Chandler could move in then on the next show to my apartment. So in one show I was alive, and then I died. Okay, in that show, when I arrived, and it was on the script that I had died in, I was really angry about getting cut on the 5th show, because if you get the 6th show, you become a regular, or you're named a regular by the union, and you get a huge bump in salary. So they killed me right before I got a huge bump in salary, which I don't think was just, you know, I think it was planned, frankly. You know, there was an inside job here. So it was a hit. Basically, it was a hit. And so I was very upset. And I went to the writer to find out what had happened. You know, I said, hey, man. And they said, who wrote this? You know, and they go, he did. And so I went over to them and I said, hey, you know, what's the deal? Why did you kill me? What's going on? You know? So he said, I didn't kill you. I'm a new writer. And this is what he told me. And it's true. He said, this is my first job. And when I was hired on Friends, they said, you know, and you sit around and you gather information for a couple of weeks, you know, and then they assign you one. And he said, when they assigned me my first assignment to write an entire script, an episode, I said, I don't know what to write. In other words, I don't know what you need. And so they said, we don't need anything, except what you should do is pick out your favorite character, not the stars, but like recurring characters. Pick out one that you like and write an episode about that character, and then it makes it much easier for you to choose. It makes it much easier for you because there's already something familiar that you like within your assignment. So he said, so I chose you because you're my Mr. Heckles, because Mr. Heckles is my favorite character. So I wrote it, and you weren't killed in it. You just moved in next door, you know. He said, but right before we were going to send out the scripts, they came to me and they said, you know, Chandler is leaving, which was already set up in other episodes. Chandler's leaving, but he can't leave the building, or there's no way we can keep him in the show. You know, we've already said he's moving out, but we didn't realize that. Where's he going to go? I mean, if he moves out of the building, then how do we get him back in every show? Every show he's going to visit? No, we have to. So he says, kill Heckles and give him his apartment. It was just like a hit. It was. So he said, all right, but it's my favorite. He said, well, just kill him and we'll get a Chandler. So that's what he did. He just killed me off. Heart attack, boom, out.
What if Chandler just moved in with Mr. Heckles?
What? Well, no, that, you know, and then it just wouldn't work. I don't know. Thank you. You're writing my next show. But where were you when I needed you? So you're fired. Okay, that's it.
I think I was still in school learning how to write.
So anyway, that's how that went for Mr. Heckles.
One of the things we try to focus on here in our little podcast is we like to talk about
Keyword
what's fun.
is try.
We try. We try to focus on things that are funny in the science fiction world. Now, although many of the roles that you've had have not been strictly sci-fi, most of what our watchers may not know is that you have two separate Star Trek appearances. You had one Next Generation episode where you played the character Wind Dancer, who's right behind Nick. And then there were also 3 episodes on Voyager where you played Gaunt Gary. So here's our question.
Wait a minute, stop. 3? I did 3? I only thought that I did 1.
According to IMDb, you have 3.
Okay, cool. I'm waiting for the checks. That's all.
All right, so somewhere between 1 and 3 episodes, potentially 2 unpaid. So it was so nice of you to gift them 2 episodes, Larry.
For you guys, I did it for you.
Well, we appreciate your sacrifice, sir. So what are your recollections of being on the set, if you can recall, and what did you enjoy about being included in the Star Trek universe?
Well, I mean, just because it's such an iconic show, just to be, there's certain things I'm just flattered just being auditioning for, just that I'm on their radar is even, you know, a great thing.
Okay.
So and there's a 7, and that was one of them. What I remember most about being on, because I only remember one show, so I only have one reference point. So the one show that I was on, the amazing thing about being on that show was the other sets. They're amazing, man. You know, the futuristic control room and the other things, and they were, you know, the round doors and the weird. They had constructed these, and they were all over the place. And of course, it's only when you know, the set is only when the camera is here and you're looking that way. But, you know, then all of a sudden it ends with some wood, and then there's a garbage pail over there. You know, and then there's, you know, a guy drinking coffee over there. So it's just the two worlds collided. So that's what I remember. The simulation of realities was just amazing. Okay. And then, you know, and then there's the cameras and stuff like that. On my set, the thing was Gaunt Gary. I was, at the time, just a coincidence, I thought I was going to be a great pool hustler. That was what I was into. I had been doing a lot of shows, so I had a lot of money. Not really a lot of money, but enough money for a beginner to think I can buy my own put together pool cue. That's how much money I had.
Fair enough.
And a case. I bought a case and a thing. So which is a no-no. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do if you're a pool hustler. Because it's like a tell. I mean, oh, yeah, I'm not going to play this guy. He's got his own, what is he? What, are you kidding? I mean, it's a, you got to, pick one of the, pool cues from the stack and pretend you don't know what the hell you're doing and lose your first 2 games. And then you go in for the kill. So, but what it also is a tell is, because no pool shark would ever do that, is if you walk in with a put together pool cue in a case, you're a fish. You're a target. This guy doesn't know anything. Hey, you want to play some pool? I don't know anything. And I was being beaten right and left. One time, the last time I walked into a pool hall with a pool cue case, I walked in, it was on 8th Avenue in New York City, where you walk down into the pool hall. I mean, that's the kind of pool halls I loved hanging out in. Just for the vibes, man, and the characters. So I walk in, and I'm ready to play, what the hell? And I walk in, and the only pool table open, it was at night, the only pool table open was right in front of the cash register, and the guy behind the cash register. So I get my cue balls, and I get my, that's it. That was my shoes. No, that's bowling. I get my cue balls. And I set it on a table, and I open my pool case. And immediately, the guy behind the counter, who was an older guy, he says, "Hey, you, come here." So what'd I do wrong? He says, "Come here." I go, "Yeah." He says, "I don't want you playing anybody in this pool hall." Why? Because you can't play any of them. What do you mean? You don't know how to play. They'll kill you. You'll lose all your money. I'm just telling you. Okay? Enough said. And he was right, man. Because I was playing that, and then even if I hid the case, you can see it's a put together, it's an expensive, and guys would just, so I generally go in and just practice is really what I do. And you should see the guys just, these guys, in t-shirts and jeans and stuff. Hey, you want to play a game? And the guy behind the counter says,
Not him.
No, it's okay. And these guys would just wander around. They would watch for a little while, and then they would say, "Hey, want to play a little game?" The whole evening. I was there for about an hour. I mean, I couldn't put up with that. But never again did I ever, think I was a pool hustler. I mean, because they would let you win the 2 games, and then they wouldn't let you quit.
They have you online now.
Yeah. So, and but yeah, that's kind of how I don't know why I told that story.
I love it though.
It's interesting.
So what did you name your pool cue? It had to have a name.
No, I wasn't even I didn't have it that long. I mean, this is like maybe 3 months of being beaten, and finally the guy said, "All right, don't play anybody in here."
So in 3 months you never had the urge.
I never
to call
named
Lucille.
it because I didn't. Yeah. It was not Lucille, right? It didn't have any strings.
So I just thought of a
No
question.
strings on my pool cue. What the hell? What's going on?
I just thought of a question. What did they put on your face for the wind dance?
Oh God, it was the worst. They put a rubber thing over my hair, to keep it, round.
Okay.
And then they just hours of little squares. It was awful. I hate makeup. I don't use makeup at all. I won't let anybody put makeup on my face. It's just sticky.
Well, you're a natural beauty.
Yeah. Well, I think of it as character. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I really do. Here's what I follow about that. Anna Magnani, you know or remember Anna Magnani? Well, when she was, and she was a great Italian actress. But as she got older and as she got older, she got just better and better. She was an incredible Italian actress. But when she was in her, I guess in her 60s to 70s, I remember she was doing an interview. And she said, well, you know, how did you like working on that movie? And she said, well, the makeup department I didn't get along with at all. And they go, well, why? And they said, well, the makeup department was trying to cover over my wrinkles because I'm so old. She said, and I wouldn't let them come near me. Why? She says, listen, I lived 65 years to get these wrinkles, and you're going to cover them up? Not on my life.
Love it.
I thought that's so cool, man.
Love it.
Yeah.
So Larry, you have a book out there, and it's entitled The Loopholes Dossier.
Yeah.
It's exploring the comic of different ways of how different people survive and choose to define the world itself. So what was your favorite part about writing your book? Or what part about the writing process did you enjoy?
The best writing it. The writing is the whole point, you know, and then selling it is a second point. My title was not a big seller. I didn't know how to. There was two things that I missed totally about writing a book. One is you got to get the right name, man. It's really important. I'm not kidding around now. The name of your book is so important, and also, well, what you're writing about, and to who you're writing for. In other words, who's going to buy this book? Who is your audience? And I had no audience, so it was just like a shotgun thing, and you can't sell a book that way. And I had to learn the lessons of the book market. And I'm only just now, I'm writing another book right now. But now now I know, you know, because everybody wants to write a book, they think, well, you write a book and then you sell it. What's the big deal? No, and nothing is like that. I'm talking about even digging ditches. Well, you got a shovel and you get some dirt and you dig a hole. No, sorry, not that way. Yeah, what's the market? Why, you know, who is you digging a grave? Are you digging a pothole? What are you digging? You know, it's the whole thing. So I didn't know that, but the best part is the first part is 7 fables, and I loved writing them because that's just free form fables, modern fables, you know, for like college kids and above, you know. So that was fun because it just poured out of my head. I didn't write them all at once. I just wrote them over a period of time. Like when an idea would occur to me and I'd sit down and it'd just come out, you know, then maybe the next day I'd just tighten it up a little, but that was it. Boom, put it in a stack, month later. So that was really fun. The next one, then the last one, it's 3 parts, 3 different characters. So that was the fable. Oh, all the fables were about one character, and it was his ages, which also was fun for me. There's got to be something in it for the writer besides trying to sell it. You know, you've got to have something to say, or you got to have something to say, or forget about writing a book. Even if it's a children's book, you know, I love children and I think this is good for them. Okay, so the second one was, then I wrote the third one second. And that was the diary, which I think is brilliant, but I don't know. A lot of people don't get it because maybe it's too surreal. But it's the diary of a homeless person. I was homeless for a year. I lived in my car. And I did it, one, because I was evicted, but there was an excuse for that. And the other ones, I just wanted to be homeless. You know, what's this like? I want to see if I could survive. Survive, you know, as a curious writer, actor, survival is different from somebody who's just homeless and trying to survive. There is a difference. I was a writer who said, as long as I'm evicted and homeless, let me see how far I can take it. That was my thing. But I was always making notes and stuff like that. And I saw some very funny things that you just don't see in ordinary life. So I wrote about that. I wrote his diary, but the diary was the diary of an old, it's about a 75-year-old, permanently homeless old guy who died on the beach here in Santa Monica. That's where I live. Who died on the beach and was found by first two seagulls and then by two lifeguards. And he had a girlfriend. And when they went through his stuff, his tent and his knapsack, they found 45 books, notebooks, you know, the crackle covered books that school kids use.
Yeah.
Right.
Found 45 of those books that he had been keeping a diary for years. And, you know, because I used to see these guys in New York when I lived in New York, these homeless guys writing in these books all over New York. Because it's different than Santa Monica, which is just you go on the beach and you don't see people, but they're on the street. So I would always go up to them and ask them, I'd say, hey, can I read that? And none of them ever would let me read a thing. So I said, what the hell are they writing about? And it's either just scribbling, or it probably is, I mean, what they see from the street point of view would be interesting as a writer, but nobody ever did that. So I decided to write my own. I said, okay, I'm a homeless guy. I was homeless for a year. I know a little about that world. I'm going to write the diary of a 75-year-old guy that died and left me 3 of his books because I was his friend. Because I do know these guys and girls down at the beach.
Right.
And he left me 3 of his books, the last 3 books that he had written. Book 42, 43, and 44, 45, whatever. And so I just transcribed them and put it in my book. So that was it. And I think it's really brilliant because it's the point of view of a homeless person written from somebody who actually was homeless. And I think it's very funny, man, because it's a satire.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the third. And then, but the middle one is exactly what just happened. I wrote a book about the discovery of a presidential presidential running possibility, who runs for the election, wins the election, is despicable, but in a very funny way, and is impeached, and then has a life afterwards. And yeah, that's it. But it's written from the point of view of the FBI files on this guy. In other words, every person who runs for president, they have to have a background check.
Right.
Well, that background check doesn't stop when you're elected. It just goes sub rosa. And I went to the FBI and I got the entire loopholes dossier from when he was first chosen to run till when they stopped following him. But they did follow him for 3 years after he left the presidency, after he was impeached. So I got those, and then I just picked highlights of the dossier. So basically, it's the loopholes dossier.
Gotcha. Okay.
Of President Loopholes from the time that he was chosen all the way through. And I think it's hysterical, but that's just me.
Gotcha.
So I think it's really a cool book.
Since we are a sci-fi based show, let's talk a quick little bit about sci-fi here.
Okay.
Now, many of the people that we have on the show have these very deep bases in sci-fi, and we know that's not entirely you. Or they grow up wanting to be in one sci-fi show or another, or there's that deep attachment. So for you, is there a
sci-fi Comic-Con?
Yeah. So for you, is there a sci-fi universe that you would like to be a part of yet in a movie, or one that you haven't acted in yet, or even if it's not one that you don't want to act in, is there a movie or a TV series that's sci-fi based that you like to watch when you kick your feet up?
Well, when I kicked my feet up, I don't watch science fiction. There's nothing. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. There's nothing that attracts me to sci-fi. I'm trying to, but the world, I guess, because I don't believe. See, I don't I only believe in dystopias, and
Okay.
and dystopias are not something you want to live in.
No, not
So, in
typically.
other words, the sci-fi that I can grok are dystopian.
Okay.
But I wouldn't want to live in that dystopian world.
No.
So I just have no truck with sci-fi.
I get that.
But I'm trying to really answer your question. Like, if I had to live in a sci-fi world, which one would I?
But even if you just had to
pick?
act in one, you had to act in
Well,
one.
I mean, the beginning, the first three, I guess, the first three, not Star Trek. Star Trek, I never bought Star Trek. What the hell is with Star Trek? I never bought that. I didn't believe in the whole thing. It just, I would not suspend my willing disbelief. I'm sorry. But
Larry's my people.
what's the original science fiction? I like Buck Rogers. That was kind of cool.
Okay.
But just because it was so silly.
All right.
It's just, you could peel stuff off the walls if you were in that thing. Everything was pasted. No, I'm trying to think of one. I know one. No, I guess it is Star Wars. Star Trek is the one I don't. No, Star Wars. In the first three Star Treks, Star Wars, the first three Star Wars. Yeah, I could handle that reality. I could. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
If I was,
I could dig it. I like
if
it.
I was not a thief, or I don't want those troopers coming after me, man. Oh, wait a minute! I got one. I got one that you have probably even haven't mentioned at all.
Okay.
It was the one where the world was really fake, and there was a guy on it was a television world.
The Truman Show?
The what?
The Truman Show?
The Truman Show.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey movie.
I would have liked to be in TV City.
All right.
TV Village.
Cool.
That one. That's the future.
All right.
So while I was exploring your website, I came across some of your video shorts, and I didn't get a chance to watch them all. But so far, my favorite is Sally's Diner.
Oh, man, that got an Academy nomination. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a mistake.
Yeah, and I busted up laughing when Jones, I guess his name was Jones, or sometimes Jones, started talking about space bombs. Are they going to be?
Well, that was around Star Wars times, I guess.
Right. And are there going to be more adventures of sometimes Jones and these space jump?
Well, I was 30 when I did that, so I don't think. But yes, as a matter of fact, that's a valid question, and I'll give you a valid answer. Yes, and if you look at, so you know where to go. It's on either Vimeo or thereallarryhankin.com. But The Outlaw Emmett Demas.
Okay.
Did you watch any of those?
I started watching. I watched one of those.
Okay, that guy, The Outlaw Emmett Demas. Sometimes Jones. That's Sometimes Jones at 65.
Okay.
Really, I mean, I'm not making that up. It was in my mind. What happened to that guy? And so he became the Outlaw Emmett Demas.
Gotcha.
You should watch that. So I just wrote a movie about it, a feature-length movie. But I'm too old to do it now. But I'm trying to get a star to do it.
There you go.
The Outlaw Emmett Demas. But I also wrote a TV sitcom based on Sometimes Jones, the 30-year-old, which obviously I can't play. But I also raised him to 65. And so there's an episodic about Sometimes Jones, and because he remained homeless. Well, it's like Barnum Justice, who was the hero of my book, the homeless guy who died and left me the books. His name was Barnum Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Jones, I guess he split. One was he became a motorcycle outlaw, and that was Emmett Demas. And the other one, he became a homeless guy on the beach, and that was Barnum Justice. And that was in my book. So he did become, both of them are homeless, and one is a wanderer and one is an urban outcast.
Well, Larry, we've gotten to that point in time in our show where
No, I'm not going. No.
oh, we're not through with you yet. We're not through with you yet. We still have to play a quiz. We got to.
Oh, right. Oh my God. The quiz.
So here's the quiz,
tension.
Larry.
I got a tension headache.
Uh,
Can I go home now?
well,
ahead.
unfortunately, I think you're already home. So,
Oh yeah. Whoops.
whoopsie daisy.
Nailed.
So, here's the deal. We've got 5 questions for you. Okay.
Okay.
If you get 3 of them right, we're going to send you a copy of our I gave to the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans coffee mug, which also has our lovely Funny Science Fiction podcast logo on the back.
What's the F for?
Fund? Red Shirts Widows and Orphans Fund.
Oh, fund. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's the it ties back into the
this is for orphans and oh my God. The tension headache is all right. I gotta win this.
Well, it's for
I gotta win this.
Fictional orphans and widows. So you're all set.
Fictionally, I have to win this.
Fictionally, yes. And then if you get 4 right, 4 or more, we're going to give you a copy of that book that we showed you in the pre-show.
My book, you're going to give me a copy.
No, we're going to give you a copy of Drayton Allen's book, Custodians of the Cosmos.
Okay, that's great. Man.
Which is where the Red Shirts Widows and Orphans Fund
See, that's a great title. That is a great title. Okay.
So,
all right.
So, and if you get less than 3, of course, there has to be a punishment.
God. Oh, no, you're not going to dump me in the water.
Well, not from here, no. We'll have a drive-by watering. No, if you get less than 3, we take a picture of you and we post it on our website with a funny title.
Oh God, a loser. Our last loser. That'd be funny if you only posted the loser. Our last loser of the week was Larry Hankin. Oh my God. Okay.
So far, we've only had one person fail the quiz. I think Frank tanked it on purpose. I still say that.
Oh wow.
Because I think he wanted the memes. When he Frank giggled a little too much when we said that we were going to make a meme out of him. So, but anyway,
yeah, so that was a great idea. He's a smart cookie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So three questions right, you get the mug. 4 questions right, you get the mug and the book. Less than 3 questions right, we make a meme out of you. Do you agree?
If I get 5 right? Hold it. What if I get 5 right?
If you get 5 right, you get our eternal respect.
Oh,
and the mug and the book.
Oh, great. Respect.
Respect. Nobody wants respect.
Try to get you gallon of gasoline with respect.
There you go. So, all right. So, are we good with that?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Nick, start us up.
In which year did Friends first start? Was it 1994, 1993, or 1995?
Okay, say that again.
1994, 93, or 95?
93.
It was 94.
Very close.
All right, I don't want to play this game anymore. This is ridiculous. This is a stupid game. This is really stupid.
And would you look at the time?
Let's get out of here. Okay. All right. I'm back. Let's try. I still got 4 more shots. Let's go.
All right. Which animated TV series is famous for its opening credits couch gag? Is it Looney Tunes, Futurama, or The Simpsons?
What was the title? Couch gag?
Where they all come in and sit on the couch. It's called the opening credits couch gag.
Okay.
Which animated TV series is famous for its opening credits couch gag? Is it Futurama, Looney Tunes, or The Simpsons?
The middle one. The second one.
Close. They're both written by Matt Groening. So, it is The Simpsons, not Futurama.
Okay, so now I got to get 3 right.
All right.
I don't watch television, by the way. Does that count?
Oh, that's information we could have used yesterday.
Okay. I mean, if you got questions about Nova, all right. I mean, sci-fi and cartoons. Okay, go ahead. Hit me with your best shot. Come on. Bring it on. Right. Let's go.
What 90s show about the unknown featured the characters Mulder and Scully?
Okay. Well,
Was it-
say that again. Just ask me the question again.
What 90s show about the unknown featured the characters Mulder and Scully? Was it Law and Order, The Rockford Files, or X-Files?
X-Files.
X-Files,
Yes.
absolutely.
Thank God, man.
You're off the schneid. All right. All right. So this show exploded the career of George Clooney in 1994. Was it Boy Meets World, Family Ties, or ER?
ER.
ER.
Yes.
Do I have one more?
You have one more.
Oh God, this is it, man. Oh, a meme for the rest of my life, or comic books and prizes galore. Okay, go ahead.
You broke Tim. He moved from Boston to where everyone knew his name to Seattle to be a radio personality. Was it Tim Taylor, Fraser Crane, or Sam Malone? You can use a phone call if you wish.
Frasier.
It was
You
Frasier.
are correct.
All right, sir. That wins you the coffee mug.
God. Oh, the headache is gone. The headache.
We're gonna send you a coffee mug that looks like this, but with
Oh
without
boy, man.
but without anybody's lips on it. It's gonna be untouched by human lips.
Oh, great. And COVID. Great. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it'll be COVID free as far as we can tell.
Okay.
So, Larry, thank you so much for being on the show today. Where can people go to find out more about your book and other works that you've done?
TheRealLarryHankin.com is my website, and then Facebook. Just mention the show and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
All right.
But
And-
my art, see those two, those are my art. I do art. So those arts are there. I got T-shirts, I got face masks, I got books, I got videos.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful
And-
place.
We will be sure to place those in our description so people can find you and all of your other works.
So remember, kids, that subscribing is the single most important thing that you can do to ensure that we get more amazing guests like Larry here to have funny moments to laugh with and listen to. Now, please subscribe to our show. Respect, that's right. And please go respect Larry's work at thereallarryhankin.com. And remember, if you're not happy with the content of our videos, well, then we're just going to borrow Dr. Doofenshmirtz's Redo It Anator. That's going to allow you to rewatch the episode, but to see the good parts, because twice is nice, or at least that's what we've been told. Thanks
Well,
again,
thanks
Larry.
again,
We really
Larry.
appreciate you being on the show.
Bye.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Our show is brought to you by our charity sponsor, the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund. Imagine the comfort you'll give the Red Shirt crewman number 72. You'll know that when he puts on that red shirt and drowns in a mud bath at the Parallax Colony on Shirlea 6, 17 minutes into episode 20, that he didn't leave his family destitute and without hope. Because the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund has his back and the edible cup he ate out of.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FunnySci-Fi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.